Hello, my name is Michael and welcome to my YouTube channel, Be the True Rich. If this is the first time you're here, please like, share, and subscribe. And also remember to turn on the notification bell to get notifications when we post new videos. Thank you. And welcome to another episode of Be the True Rich. Now, I'm going to be taking us from the angle of change. Yeah, because on my first video, I talked about a lot of things we're going to be discussing here, a lot of things we're going to be looking into, and I also made mention that everything we're going to be discussing here is going to be pure contemporary knowledge. First things first is to change our minds, because unless there has been an unlearning and a relearning, what was the old would remain no matter what they bring to us. It's just simple. If we cannot handle change, if we cannot shift our minds away from the comfort zones or the areas, the locked up areas where we just feel our minds should be, if we can't move out of that place, it's always a big problem. So the first thing we're going to be dealing with is change. And you may be wondering, why do we have to change? Because the truth is, when it comes to financial intelligence, the most painful part is that we were not taught these things at home. There was no brochure through our parents to pass down this information to us, and a lot of them too were not taught at home. So we just had a system where children are born into a family and everything is just a formal education and no form of financial education in the family, down to little things as budgeting. And like I always give an example, knowing the difference between an asset and a liability. Because in homes today, we have people celebrating liabilities. Now, there's a liability coming into the house and everyone is happy and spend more money on more liabilities to celebrate the liability that was just achieved at the house without having an asset to cover for it. Now, I don't know, this may be sounding like, okay, what's this guy talking about? Like I said, you need to change your mind. You need to change the conversation in your head. You need to change what you know, because what we've known so far has not brought us to that level of financial excellence, and we've not been able to understand financial intelligence because our mind is still stuck in the old ways. The first thing I had to do was to change everything I thought I knew. Everything I thought I knew. I thought I could see, and I didn't know that I was blind. So until I could acknowledge first that, okay, I am blind, and probably this way I'm using, maybe it's been used in the past and really got some result, but in this age, in this information age we are, most of the techniques we apply into our everyday lives when it comes to finance is from the industrial age. So on this note, we have to change our minds. It is very important we change the way we see things, the way we think. And yes, change is one of the most difficult things in a human being. Change is very, very hard to accept. It's very hard to take. It's very hard to receive. One of the materials that helped me understand change in its very simplest form was a book written by Spencer Johnson and forwarded by Kenneth Blanchard, which is Who Moved My Cheese. It's like a story book. It's like a kiddie's book with so many illustrations of mice and the maze and the small people who were hem and ha, and the mice were sniff and scurry. Now in this book, you get to understand change in its very simplest form. The best and the first reagent that is needed to reactivate our minds and reconstruct our minds is being able to accept change in work and in life generally, because change, as I said, is constant. And now what I'm bringing to you is totally different from everything you're going to be hearing, and it's going to sound very simple, and I'm going to use the KISS formula by Robert Kiyosaki. It calls it keep it simple and stupid. Yeah, keep it simple and stupid. Now it's going to be very simple that in your minds you may begin to fight with it that no, this is not possible. I mean, you can't tell me just the simple things would actually give me very huge results. Yes, the simple things that you think, hey, it's a joke, this can be real. Yes, it's real, and it's very simple. And we're going to start with this book. I'd admonish you to please get a copy of this book, Who Moved My Cheese written by Spencer Johnson and forwarded by Kenneth Blanchard. In under 30 minutes, if you're a voracious reader, you should be done with the book. It's about 38 pages, a book that can change your life. Okay, and from there, I'm sure if you've taken this book and you've digested it, like I said, study. I didn't use the word read. Study the book. Reading is different from studying. I'm not going to go into that today, but it's totally different. So if you study this book, you can then flow with me on my frequency, opening up your mind at first and acknowledging that change is what you need first. So this is the first things first. We need to change the way we see things, the way we do things, and the way the knowledge. There's this inbred knowledge we have about certain things that, I'm sorry, they are old school. They don't work anymore. I mean, it's no more in vogue. It's not even bringing results anymore. People who have done it then, maybe the industrial age, and I don't know. But now in the information age, these things don't count. So yes, we change our minds and we change the way we see things and we change the way we do things. Now, if you need this book in a soft copy, please write me, DM me on WhatsApp, or you just send me an email. I'll respond to you. I'll respond to your email, and I'll send you the soft copy of this book so you can follow through. Okay, and also I have good news. I'm starting a study class very soon where we'll take our time to really study some of these beautiful materials we have out there today. Okay, we're going to start a study group, and I'll let you guys know how to get into the group so we can all study together. Okay, I can't be doing this every day on here, but we can have a group where we study and we come together to share. So I'm sure after this book you have so many questions, and for some of you have so much resolutions from this book. So I'd love you to share. Okay, share on the comment section. Tell me what you feel about the book and tell me what you've seen. The reason I want you to study this book is just to open your mind to change. That is it. And from my next videos, I'm going to be dishing out other things that will take step by step, and before you know it, you're financially intelligent and no one can swindle you or take your money away anymore. Alright, thank you very much for watching. If this is your first time watching here, please like, share and subscribe, and also turn on the notification bell to receive notification when we post our new videos. Thanks and stay blessed. Bye bye. I'm sure a lot of you had a thrilling time reading the book Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson and Kenneth Blanchard. Yeah, that was a very interesting storybook. Let's call it a storybook. But it really showed how we as humans find it very hard to change. Okay, and I'm sure a lot of you now are having a different thoughts about change. Yeah, like Einstein said, stupidity is repeating something over and over the same way and expecting a different result. We're not stupid people, we're very smart people. So you should always know the difference between being stupid and being smart. Okay, they are both S words, okay? But the only thing here we keep stupid is what we say here. Keep it simple and stupid. Yeah, it's going to be very simple for us to understand everything. Now, I got a lot of replies from you guys. I got a lot of DMs. Wow, like thank you very much for your feedback. And yes, we're going to do more. We're really going to do more. We're not stopping. Yeah, and for all of you who want to join the study group, don't worry, we'll give you a very affirmative information about the study group as soon as possible. As soon as we get it running, we'll let everyone know about it. So once you want to join, you know about it, and especially for those of you that asked, you'd get it. Okay, now having considered change as a basic element in our life and in the way we see our finances, like I always say, this knowledge, this contemporary knowledge, was not taught at home, and it was not taught in our schools, because a lot of our teachers, they don't and they didn't even know most of these things. So how would they teach you? How would they give you what they don't have? So it was not taught. Yeah, now we're bringing it here as simple as it is to dish it out. The first thing we are going to be looking at change is the words we speak. Yes, I'm not talking positive thinking here. Don't think I'm talking about positive thinking. It is not it. You know, I learned from my rich dad, Robert Kiyosaki, that your reply to a question can either close the doors of possibility or open the doors of possibilities. Okay? Now, a lot of us in our everyday lives, we have challenges. There are questions popping up in our minds. There are questions people bring to us every day, and most of them are if we can or if we can't do certain things. You get so now a question comes, can you achieve this project? And you look around yourself and you're seeing every impossibility that can be read out of the book is right in front of you. Your response at that time can either shut the doors of possibility or open the doors. And there are two major responses people give, and they fall in the category of I can't afford it or how can I afford it. Now, a lot of people want to live a good life. A lot of people want to achieve great feats, great heights. A lot of people want to do things that have never been done before. But due to the circumstances surrounding you, the question pops up, can you do it? And you go ahead and say, I can't afford it, because that is actually the reality anyways. Because they say, let's face facts, let's face reality. Yes. The wrong thing here is you facing the reality in that way. Because the minute you say, I can't afford it, your mind shuts. Your thinking cap falls off. Because you've already answered the whole question even before it came. You've already closed the doors of possibility. When you say, I can't afford it, the rich don't say, I can't afford it. It is the poor that say, I can't afford it. Because poverty is not in your pocket. It starts from the mind. Like I said, this is not positive thinking. This is very practical. You can go and practicalize it in your everyday life. When the question comes, can you do this? Can you achieve this? Can you build this? Can you make this happen? And you go, I can't afford it. I can't do it. You've sealed a red pig there, like it's not going to happen. And I bet you, it is never going to happen. You're never going to be that person. You're never going to have a solution to that problem. You're never going to have answers to questions, because before the questions even came, you've answered it. I can't afford it. Now, in the other way, what should you say or what should you do? Not ignoring the circumstances, because I'm not saying, look, the reality is not there. That's not it. That's not the testimony here. It is not that you're not seen. It's not that you don't know. It's not that you don't know that you don't have enough money.
No more worries over grocery items. Get your items delivered to your doorstep in 24 hours. Shop now on spree.africa.
The educational qualification or the mental stability or whatever it is that you need to achieve that feat, it is there. All the barriers are there. You can see them there, and they ask you the question, can you do it? As a rich person. Now, this is a change in your reaction. Change. As a rich person, your answer should be, how can I afford it? How can I make it happen? How can I do it? The minute you ask the question how, your thinking cap goes on. I'm telling you the truth. Every billionaire you see today, every successful person you see today, did not achieve it by saying I can't afford it. In fact, it's a statistics that says that 95% of billionaires today are first generation. So it means before them, there were no billionaires in their family. Yes. And if they had to lean on, I can't do it, I did not go to school, I didn't graduate from Harvard, I didn't go to Manchester, I don't have the connections, I don't have the money. If that was the thing ringing in their head, they would not achieve anything. The minute you ask the question, how can I afford it? Leave the rest to play. Your mind will keep on revolving, your mind will keep on working until you achieve it. If you need to make a contact with somebody, the only way you make the contact is when you ask, how can I do it? Then the thinking bulb comes on, the thinking cap is on. If you need to liaise with a group, if you need to call on somebody, if you need to read a book, if you need to study more about something, if you just need to do the extra to achieve it, the how changes everything. The question, how can I afford it? When you make the statement, I can't afford it, you sealed it. You're not going to do it. Forget it. Because the minute, see, there are a lot of reasons, a million of reasons why a lot of people who achieved so much in their lives should not have achieved it. Yes, if you go through their biography, you find out that these people were not even close to it. But because they asked the simple question, how can I afford it? I admonish you today, stop saying you can't afford it. Stop saying you can't do it. Stop saying the government is against you. Stop saying your family is against you. Stop saying nothing can work for you. Can you just ask the question, how? How can I afford it? The minute you begin to ask how, the possibilities will come rolling in your presence. They will come rolling. And step by step, you're going to achieve it. Well, as usual, I would always leave you with some materials to go through, some very interesting books to study, and today I'm actually going to be giving you a movie, a very interesting movie. Now, to learn more about your response to life's challenges and work challenges and things that will come your way, a very good book to start with is Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Now, that book really changed a whole lot of things, most especially my response to challenges. Now, instead of me having to say I can't afford it, I learned to say how can I afford it, to ask the question how can I afford it. He writes very much there about his rich dad and his poor dad, and he said the reason why his rich dad was always rich and growing in wealth was because he kept on facing challenges head on with the question how can I afford it, while his poor dad would always say I can't afford it, we can't live in that house, we can't drive that car, I can't afford it, I can't afford to give you better education than this, I have family problems, there's school fees to pay, there's life happening here and there. When you study the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, you'll find out how to best use your words to rearrange your environment, to rearrange your mind, to rearrange your future and what you do. Now, another interesting book is Donald Trump's Art of the Deal. I mean, in that book, you'd see one man breaking deals.
Get the best deals on all items on spree.africa. Shop now.
Judging by the circumstances surrounding Donald J. Trump, he would not have closed the big deals he did at the time, like the Commodore, Trump Towers, and some other beautiful projects. But by asking the question, how can I afford it? His brain goes to work. He makes connections. He makes deals that pays off at the very long run, and he became one of the richest men in America. And one of the richest men we have in the world today. One of the richest presidents who ever ruled America, Donald J. Trump. By reading that book, Art of the Deal, that book was written in 1987. So you can see how much knowledge you can tap from that book. And I'm telling you, by the time you're done with it, nothing will be too hard for you to achieve. All you just need to do from then on is ask the question, how can I afford it? How can I make it happen? And like I said earlier, today I'm going to be referring you a movie, a very interesting documentary movie titled The Men Who Built America. The Men Who Built America. Like the saying goes in the book, America was not discovered, America was built. Going through that documentary, The Men Who Built America, you'll see the likes of J.P. Morgan, John D. Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, Cornelius Vanderbilt, and Henry Ford. And you see how these men, by asking the questions, how can I afford it? Even with their very humble backgrounds, when they started off, and they later became the world powers, and are, in fact, are still part of the world powers today. Like, a very good example is John D. Rockefeller, who owned Standard Oil. And of course, when Standard Oil was decommissioned, it was decommissioned into over 200 companies because of the monopoly they said he was controlling them. Of course, the 200 companies you have today are still Chevron, Mobil, Texaco, and so you can see that it is still going on. I'm not talking about the monopoly. I'm talking about how much he could achieve by asking the question, how can I afford it? Before John D. Rockefeller, petroleum was transported by means of vehicles from location to location. John D. Rockefeller was the first person to design how to transport petroleum using pipes underground. The same way Henry Ford was the first person to design an assembly unit for cars that made cars cheaper. Same way Cornelius Vanderbilt reduced transportation to the barest minimum. The question they kept on asking themselves was how. Carnegie started building bridges that were said could not handle elephants. The question was, how can I do it? And they made it happen. JP Morgan revolutionized banking. The question they had to ask themselves was how. You'd also find Thomas Edison there revolutionizing electricity. You'd also find Nikola Tesla there revolutionizing electricity at the same time. The question was, how can we make it happen? I'm sure when you get that movie, you can get it on the History Channel. When you get it there, you watch it and you will learn how to ask the question, how can I afford it? And not shy away by saying, I can't afford it. We're still taking the series on change, changing the conversation. As of today, we've changed our response to questions, our response to challenges, from I can't afford it, from I'm not rich enough, from I'm not from rich family, from my family is against me, from the government of my country is against me, from my country is a very bad place to do business, to how can I afford it? And yes, when you understand how that question works, how the question, how, the answers will come rolling. Thank you for watching and remain blessed. In my last video, I was talking about the response. I was talking about the words we use that can either make us rich or poor, because the words we use have power. They have power to open up our minds and shut our minds. They have power to control our minds. They have power to position us in certain places we should be. So that's why we need to be very, very cautious and deliberate using our words. And we learned the difference between I can't afford it and how can I afford it. Yes, we learned the difference, and I can see that it's already working for some people. We've gotten very beautiful feedbacks. Okay, and on that note, we'll continue from where we stopped last week. Today we'll be dealing with another exciting area in change, because yes, we really need to change. We'll be talking about money directly, what we need to change in our minds about money and the way we see money. Now, if you're someone who uses money in your everyday life and you need money for certain things in your life every day, yes, this video is for you, and I'm sure that is everybody uses money. Okay, now let's look at how the rich responds to money problems and the poor. Okay, now a poor person has a project or has an idea in mind, has something in mind that, okay, I want to achieve this, I want to try and achieve this. Now, the first thing the poor person begins to look at is how much it will cost, even if they don't even do an evaluation. They just look at the house and be like, to build this house, it will cost money. I don't have the money. You get, and that is how they don't do it. Because when they evaluate in their minds without even pressing play, and now this is a continuation of last week, because we need to ask ourselves how we can afford it. Now, today we are learning that money is not our problem. Yes, that's the base of what I've been saying for a few seconds now. Money is not our problem. If only we can ask the question how, we would find out that there are other ways to deal with problems without even spending a dime, and sometimes without even spending our own money. Because if you meet an average person on the road here in Nigeria and you ask them, what's your problem? They'll say, my problem is money. What do you want to do? I need money. What do you need money for? They can't even give you a breakdown of what the money will be used for. They can't even pitch or sell whatever they have in mind. All they're just focused on is, I don't have money to do it. And that is it. They don't even know the cost. They don't even know the value of what they want to do. All they just say is, I don't have money. When they see a car, all that comes to their mind is, I can't afford it. I don't have money. A lot of people believe that money is their problem, and it's something, a mindset that needs to be changed. It needs to go away completely. We need to understand that money is not our problem. I know you're asking now, what is our money? Is a solution to our problem. We have problems. Money is just a solution, a type of solution. Money is not the only solution to our problems. Money is not the only solution to the projects we have in mind to accomplish, no matter how big. I repeat, no matter how big. If you want to build Trump Towers today, you might not spend 1 naira of your money. Yes. And the rich understand this very much. So from the conversation of the rich, the minute you meet a rich person and you ask the person, what's up with that project? Why haven't you achieved it? Why haven't you gone for it? They begin to give you breakdown analysis of what the problems are, not money. They tell you, I need to acquire that piece of land. It's for 5 million naira, and when I acquire it, I'll have to build a 2-3 bedroom flat on it. And they begin to break down these things. I'm just using a very simple picture. And after building a 2-3 bedroom flat, I can then lease it out for this amount or this amount, and within a number of years, within a few years, I'm able to recover this amount of money. Then I can go ahead and process another one. I can, when you're able to break things down like this, it becomes very easy for you. And like I said, money is just a solution. And in the business world, money is not the only thing that can buy you anything you want. You have other beautiful methods. First and foremost, you need to understand what you want. It's so funny. You meet somebody on the road and you ask them, what's up? What's your problem? The person is hungry. Instead of the person to simply say, I need food, the person will say, I need money. So if they give you money at that point, can you put it in your mouth? If that is the only thing like you have to, can you put it in your mouth? That's the question. You need food. Can you just simply say, I need food? When you say, I need food, the person you're talking to may have money to give you for the food, or may have food that would even last you a month to give you, to make sure that that problem is solved. Because you can ask for money. Give me 500 naira, and they just give you the 500 naira. You eat for that minute alone. So has your hunger problem been solved? No, it hasn't been solved. You're still hungry. But if you can simply say, I need food, yes, food will be attended to. The person may have food directly. The person can say, go and meet this person. This person will give you what you need, the provisions you need for a month, and it will cater for you. I'm breaking it down in its simplest form. That's why I'm using these very simple examples. Money is nobody's problem. Now, you're wondering, how does the rich achieve these great things they achieve? Check Donald Trump's book again, the book I referred last week, The Art of the Deal. You find out that he did not drop 1 naira of his money in those projects. The Trump Tower, the Commodore, all of them. He did not. So how did he go about it for such a magnificent project? Read Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. That is where he begins to tell the tales of how he closes deals worth millions in dollars without putting down 1 naira of his money or $1 of his money. Now, I'm sure your mind should be working now. There are several ways you can go about achieving that thing without putting money in front. Now, I'm not going to give you a full guide on step by step, but like I said, I'm breaking it in the simplest form. You need to ask the question, how? Most of us have dreams that we don't even have the budget for. Meaning, you have a dream, but you don't even know how much it will take you at least to achieve halfway of the dream. But you keep dreaming. And you keep telling people, I have this dream, but you don't even know what it will take. So if you need a landed property for a business, who told you you must buy it? That's the question. Who told you have to buy it outright? Who told you have to take the money? Can you just say, I need a landed property, and see if you can get it, and ask how you can get it? Can you say, I need chickens, I need this, I need that, I need 1 car, This is what I need. And see how that thing will be met. Can we talk in clear terms of what we need? If you're in the growth stage of your business and you need adverts, can you say what we need now are promotions? The person you're talking to might know somebody that will connect you with and would give you that thing, either for depth or for a token that would not get to that level you were thinking you would spend. We need to change our minds. There are some smart methods the rich use. Number one is bootstrapping. Do you know you can bootstrap your business no matter how big? You can bootstrap the fundamental stage of your business. You can do it. Bootstrapping means having to do most of the work that has to be done there. And bootstrapping does not mean you have to do it yourself. Yes, you can get a team together to bootstrap with you. If you need a designer in your team, you can get a designer who is your friend to come on the team. And this is another stage where we get to sharing, because the rich are not greedy people. They are very generous people. That is a topic for another day. But you need to be ready to share. If you're setting up a company, you can offer shares for this thing to be done. You can need a piece of property for a particular thing. You want to build a hotel, you want to build a school, and you can offer shares to the person who owns it. To say, hello, please, can you give me this piece of property? I'll give you 10% of the project, 20% of the project, 50%, whatever you guys come to agree. So that now could save you millions of naira without you spending money from your pocket. You need a web designer, or you need a website. You can meet a friend who is a web designer to help you build a website. What you need is a website. You can approach them, and maybe for a token, a minor token, you share whatever it is. You share with them. It can really help a long way.
No more worries over grocery items. Get your items delivered to your doorstep in 24 hours. Shop now on spree.africa.
And you yourself, if there are things you can do by yourself, if you can be the one handling the graphics. In fact, most of the time in the early stage of businesses, you are everything. That is what they call bootstrapping. If you have to be the one handling the graphics, if you have to be the one taking the calls at the same time, if you have to be the one, but you will never know you can do this until you know what really needs to be done. Please stop putting money in front of you. Money is not the solution, the only solution. Money is just a solution, and it is not even your problem. Money is not your problem. You need a graphic designer, that's your problem. You need an artist, that's your problem. You need a typist, that's your problem. You need a customer care, that is your problem. That is your problem. That is the way the rich think. They don't think money first. They find ways in which they can achieve big projects, huge projects, without spending a dime of their money. That is one way the rich get things done. Bootstrapping. Every rich business you're seeing at one level or the other is being bootstrapped. The rich know how to start with what they have. That is why they bootstrap. You don't have to wait until you have all the money. Can you really pay everybody? That's the question. If you want to pay, can you pay everybody? Can you afford everybody you need? Most especially at the startup stage of your business, or the startup stage of that thing you want to achieve. Can you? So bootstrapping is one part. The second part is other people's money, OPM. If you read Robert Kiyosaki's Retire Young, Retire Rich, you will learn so much about OPM, other people's money. Where you know how to pitch your business and get investors into your business or into that thing you're doing. You don't have to spend every dime from your pocket. Why are you even taking the full risk? Is it business wise? It is not. The people you can meet, you can liaise with, they could be friends, they could be brothers, but you should be able to sell that idea to them and get their money working. And you join the risk together. And of course, the reward together, because you must be ready to share. Yeah. Other people's money. That is what the rich use. They don't use their money. It is not wise to use your money. It is not. Another one which works very well is other people's time, OPT. Robert Kiyosaki's book to Retire Young, Retire Rich still talks about other people's time. You don't have to be the one doing everything. Other people's time is very much related with bootstrapping. Other people's time, you can pay people off to do it for you, and you can get them on your team, and they use their time to work with you to achieve the goal. So, dear viewers, money is not your problem. It is just a solution to your problem. Like I said, I'll keep this simple and stupid. We're using the KISS formula here to keep it very simple, like very simple. It is more complex than it sounds now, but it is as simple as it is. Very simple. Stop putting money in front of everything. It is not wise. Get your figures, get your budget, draft what you need to do, know what you need to do, know what you need money for and what you don't need money for. Don't just, without making a move, say, I don't have the money. And you don't even know that there, maybe 99 of the projects can be handled without 1 naira of your money, or $1 of your money, or any part of your money. I don't have the time. That is another thing for another day. Like you can see, there's so much we need to discuss, there's so much we need to change. We need to change the idea that money is our problem. Money is just a solution to our problems. As usual, for every video, I'll recommend books to you. For this very video, I'll be recommending Robert Kiyosaki's Retire Young, Retire Rich as one of the books you need to study. You need to study how to achieve things without putting money in front of you, how to use other people's money and other people's time. Another beautiful book is The Art of the Start by Guy Kawasaki. You learn so much about bootstrapping in that book. He writes so much. He explains how projects that were very mighty were achieved by bootstrapping. That is a very key ingredient for any successful business at the startup stage. Bootstrapping, it is very, very essential for your business, and it is very essential in achieving great heights away from business. There are certain things we need to achieve that we need to bootstrap. We need to start by bootstrapping, and you will not know how much you need to bootstrap until you sit down and figure everything out. The third book I'll recommend for you to study is The Owner Startup Manual by Steve Blank and Bob Duck. That is a whole manual on startups, and it helps you, guides you on how to achieve things without having to spend money. Yes, money is not your problem. It is a solution to your problems. Thank you very much for watching this video. If this is your first time here, please like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. We're going to be continuing our series on change. Last week we talked about changing our attitude towards money, and we learned that money is not our problem, that money is a solution to our problems, just a solution. Now this week we're going to be talking about saving. This is a very big topic in the households every day. We talk about saving money, we talk about savings because we believe that savings is our guarantee to riches. I am sorry to burst your bubble, savings can never make you rich. I repeat it, savings can never make you rich. The only reason you save is so that you can use the money for something else later. But if the main reason you're saving is because you want to become rich, you're on the very wrong train. Because the rich don't save. Savers are losers. If you study Robert Kiyosaki's book, Second Chance, you'd see it there. Savers are losers. That's just one of the books you can study to understand what savings does. First, let's analyze the saving of a thing. You have 500 naira today in Nigeria at the beginning of the month, and you save it that you want to buy something worth that same 500 naira at the end of the month. I am sorry. The chances of you buying that thing for that same 500 naira due to inflation is almost 0.1%. Because at the end of the month, you're likely to spend more than the 500 naira you actually budgeted. So savings can never make you rich. I repeat it, savings can never make you rich. You only save money for times of emergency. You only have a savings account, of which today is even taxed more than current accounts. Today there are so much charges the banks will take from you just because you decided to save money with them. It is almost like they want to just take out every penny from your savings. At the end of the day or at the end of the month, when you get your bank statement, you start asking, why didn't I just keep this money in my house? Because your savings can never make you rich. Your savings funds the banks to be able to give investors your money. That is the main function of your savings. It's so funny when I tell people that their savings is a liability to the bank. Yes, because they are supposed to pay you an interest, of which these days we don't even see an interest on our savings account. If the reason you saved something in January was to buy something in December, my dear, I am sorry.
No more worries over grocery items. Get your items delivered to your doorstep in 24 hours. Shop now on spree.africa.
Inflation by December would have catapulted the cost of that thing you want to afford. Savings can never ever make you rich. If you want to be rich, do not stay your money. The rich don't stay their money. They invest their money. They keep their money moving every minute and every second of the day. They don't sleep money. Savings is sleeping money. Money was made to be used to facilitate different things and purchase different items at different times. Money was never made to be staged. If you had a savings account of 2 million naira 10 years ago, my dear, what 2 million would have bought you 10 years ago? It cannot even buy you what 20,000 will buy now. I'm telling you the truth. The inflation rate of the world economy now would never allow your savings make you rich. Stop saving unnecessarily. Look for places, look for avenues you can invest your money. Look for places you can use your money. Get your money to work. Money works for the rich. The rich don't work for money. The rich don't save. The rich use their money. The rich recycle their money. The rich sends their money to print more money for them. The rich don't save. Please stop saving your money and saying you want to be rich. If you tell me you're saving for emergency, I understand. That is very, very necessary. It is very necessary for life. But if the reason you're saving your money, if the reason you open the savings account and you're smiling to save money in the bank is because you want to be rich at the end of the day, I'm so sorry, my dear viewer. It cannot happen. You cannot become rich by saving your money. Now, to learn more how your savings is being liquidated every day and inflation is eating up your money every day, get Robert Kiyosaki's Second Chance and study that book. You would learn everything you need to know about saving your money. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for your time. If you've not subscribed, please like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. See you again in my next video. Thank you. Bye bye. We're still on the change series, and today we'll be treating frugality. Now, it sounds like a big word to you. Let me just break it down. Frugality is the act of living within your means. So if you earn 20,000 naira in a month, you try as much as possible to live within the 20,000 naira. And that sounds very smart. Okay, I'm sorry, it is not smart. And frugality can never make you rich. Frugality can never make you a rich person. I learned from Robert Kiyosaki, my rich dad, that frugality is breaking the human spirit, breaking your spirit, and telling yourself that you don't deserve the beautiful things you see around you. Now, does that make sense to you? You like certain things, you see beautiful houses every day, you see beautiful cars every day, but you tell yourself that you don't deserve it because you have to stay within the confines of your means. So you have to be frugal. Maybe in the industrial age that would have worked when your money still had value, but now that money is debt, it would not work. Frugality would make you poorer and poorer, and the worst part is at the end of the day you would regret why you had to live below your means, because at the end of the day you get nothing. Everything you are staying away from today, the beautiful houses, the beautiful cars that you're running away from today, you would not be able to achieve them after 50 years of being frugal, I bet you. Because frugality breaks your spirit. The worst thing you can do to yourself as a human is to break your spirit, is to tell yourself that you don't deserve the beautiful life you see around you. You don't deserve to have a beautiful car, to live in beautiful homes, to go on beautiful vacations. You don't deserve to live the life. Your children don't deserve to attend the best schools. Your children don't deserve to have the best set of friends that can be in the world. You don't deserve to be connected to the highest of the highest. That's breaking your spirit. And once you see a man with a broken spirit, it is like the end of their life. automatically nothing around them makes sense, because they live a life that they believe that they don't deserve anything. So I know you'll be wondering, what should you then do? What is the remedy for this?
Get the best deals on all items on spree.africa. Shop now.
Now, if you study Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad, you see there that the rich print their own money. It is possible for you to print your own money and live above that thing you said you cannot live above. And that would mean expanding your means. If your means is 20,000 naira, look for a way to expand it to 50, to 100, to a million, and eventually billions. There are ways you can expand your means. Stop giving the excuse that you can't afford it. Ask yourself, how can I afford it? How can I expand my means? Because if you keep living below your means, you would never make sense in this world. And you would live a life of regret, because you would keep wishing every day that you did not go frugal. The rich are not frugal people. The rich expand their means so that they can afford the beauties of this world. Am I making sense now? The rich don't go around lamenting, crying, and wishing. They don't do it. The rich are not frugal people. They expand their means. They don't break their spirit. Do not break your spirit. Breaking your spirit can never guarantee you to be rich. The only way you can be rich is expanding your means. The rich expand their means. They do not live below their means. If you want to be rich, expand your means. Find ways to expand your means. Do not say, because I don't have a formal education, I cannot earn billions. Do not say, because I come from a poor background, I cannot earn billions. I cannot live above what I met. I cannot live above my father and my forefathers. It is a lie you're telling yourself. Expand your means. Ask the question. If you want to know more about asking the question, how can I afford it? Watch my video on change, where I talk about the words we use every day. The rich don't say I can't afford it. The rich don't say I can't afford a limousine. The rich don't say I can't afford a Benz. The rich don't say I can't afford a beach house. The rich ask the question, how can I afford it? That is the opposite of being frugal. That is the opposite of frugality. A lot of people believe in security. That is why they are frugal. The rich do not look for security. The rich are after financial freedom. They want to be free to live the life they deserve to live. On this note, you need to change your mind about being frugal and start developing and expanding your means. If you want to know more about expanding your means, read Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad. You'll find there how to print money, and also Robert Kiyosaki's Increase Your Financial IQ. You'll find there how to live above your present means and expand the means so that you can have a rich and happy life. Thank you for watching. If this is your first time here, please like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Thank you and stay blessed. Bye bye. We're still on the change series, and today we're going to be discussing debt. And I know in your mind you're wondering, why should we be talking about debt? I mean, isn't debt a bad thing? To be in debt, is it not in fact almost evil or pure evil for you to be in debt? Because you're wondering, why debt? In a few minutes, you'll understand why you need to learn about debt. First off, there are two kinds of debt. You have the good debt and the bad debt. Bad debt is debt you incur to most of the time accessorize yourself with liabilities, while good debt is debt you incur to create assets or purchase assets. So there are two different things, even though they are both called debt. The disadvantage of having bad debt is you go into debt to accessorize yourself with liabilities. So on a long run, you end up paying the debt from your pocket directly. So it's debt that has not produced or yielded anything for you. For an instance of bad debt is you securing a debt just to purchase a television that will be placed in your parlor or in your room, whichever way to be placed, for your own private use. That is bad debt. Now, on the other way around, good debt is you securing a debt to buy a television to start a game house or a viewing center. Now you're buying the same things but for two different reasons. If you start a game house or viewing center, that is an asset because it keeps putting money into your pocket. But if you buy a television just for your home on debt, it is not an asset. In fact, it will be incurring more liabilities because you have to pay for cable and all sorts. Now that is a clear example of good and bad debt. So now you may be thinking, why are we even talking about it even though you now know the difference? Now let me tell you, one of the things the rich thrive on is debt. Yes, one of the beautiful things, I use the word beautiful, the rich use to their advantage, the rich leverage on, is debt, because they know how to use debt to their advantage. And if you're ever going to be rich, you need to know how to use debt to your advantage, because if you can't use debt to your advantage, someone else will, and someone else will become rich by using debt.
Get the best deals on all items on spree.africa. Shop now.
In our homes, growing up, we thought that debt is a bad thing because it means you're owing somebody. So you see people boasting, I am debt free. The minute I hear the word I am debt free, I just see a poor. The minute I hear I have zero debt, I am seeing a poor person right in front of me, even though it seems like everything around you is tickety boom. Because the reason you're not in debt is because you do not know how to use debt to your advantage. And I'm telling you, no matter how much you have, you cannot finance your dream. That is one thing you should know. That is why you need to know how to use debt to your advantage. No matter the money you have, you cannot finance your dream. If you have to set up your business and run your business with money from your pocket, then you are very poor. If you have to set up your business and run your business or your assets from your pocket, then you're not smart. You're on your way to poverty. Being rich entails you being able to use debt to your advantage. Good debt. We have a lot of people around us that we see every day doing great and mighty things without 1 naira of their money involved in it. 1 naira of their money, it is not there. So you should be asking, how are these people able to fund this project, this multi-billion-dollar project there, this multi-million-dollar project here? How are they able to fund it? So you have to learn the art of using debt to your advantage. If you study Robert Kiyosaki's book, Retire Young, Retire Rich, you see it there. The rich don't use their money for business. They use other people's money, OPM. Why should you even use your money in the first place? One of the beautiful things that you use debt to secure your assets is that you eventually do not have to pay back the debt. Your customers pay it back. Yes, your users pay it back. So let's go back to the story of the television. You get a debt to finance a television, you use it for a viewing center, your viewers come to view. So it is the viewers that will eventually in turn pay back the debt. Yes. So you don't pay back with your money. And of course, when you're done paying back the debt, the television is yours forever to make more money and more money. That is it. Real estate is done there. Oil, it is done. In any business you can think of, debt is used every day to secure huge investments. So you need to learn the art of using debt to your advantage. As someone who uses money every day, you need to learn how to use debt to your advantage. And yes, disputing the fact that some people go for good debt and it turns bad debt. It happens. It does. I'm not disputing the fact that people can go for debt and get into trouble, even if it was good debt. Yes, it happens. It happens even to the high and the mighty. But one thing for sure is that they have built their financial integrity to a stage that they can be financed anytime, any day. As a person, you need to build your financial integrity and secure it so that when you go out to lenders, they would respect your financial integrity and hand over the money to you. Then you in turn use it to acquire assets that will later pay back the debt. So it is an art of the rich to use debt. You cannot be debt free and tell me that you are rich. I don't care what you have. The rich are deep in debt. They know how to use debt to their advantage. So you also need to learn how to use debt to your advantage. Stop running away from debt. In one of my videos, I talked about savings and how savings cannot make you rich. A lot of people save so that they would not be in debt. That is why they save. Now you save and An investor who knows how to use debt will go and borrow that same money that you saved, thanking the bank for keeping your money. And they will use it for business and, of course, return it with interest. The minute you break down those walls in your mind, you start thinking of how you can afford it. I also have another video on that. How you can afford it. Your thoughts pattern helps decide if you're going to be rich or you're going to be poor. Like I said, each time I see somebody telling me I am debt free, I just know I'm seeing a poor person. How can you be debt free and you say you're building wealth? Okay, even if you have some things you're doing, so you mean you're using your own money to finance it? Is that smart? Is that what the rich does? So you need to learn how to use debt to your advantage. Debt is there for you to use. Use it for your business. Use it to secure assets that will later pay back. You need to learn the act and you need to start somewhere. For this video, I'll be referring you to Robert Kiyosaki's Retire Young, Retire Rich. Study that book and learn how debt can be used in your advantage. And there are other numerous materials out there that can teach you how to use debt to your own advantage. How to use debt to build an empire around yourself. How to use debt to climb those ladders you think you can never climb. Debt is for the rich. If you're ever going to be rich, you need to learn how to use debt. Thank you. We're still on the change series, and today we'll be discussing talent. Now, I know a lot of people are very, very out of their minds and out of their heads when it comes to talent. Like the overrating of talent most of the time gets people mixed up with talented people, and a lot of people have talented people they idolize, and in some cases they even worship them. Okay, so I'm not here to play down on talent. I'm just here to make a statement that talent cannot make you rich. Your talent cannot guarantee you to be rich. Now, I know in your mind you're wondering, what is this guy talking about? I mean, there are a lot of talented people out there that they think they are rich, that their followers and their supporters think they are rich. Let me correct the impression. There are a lot of talented people out there with money. Yes, your talent can bring you money. I mean, so much money. Your talent can really put loads of money in your account, but your talent cannot make you rich. I'm sorry. I repeat it. I'll repeat it again. Your talent cannot make you rich. First off, let's look at the quadrants the talents fall into. In the cash flow quadrant, you have the E, which is the employee, you have the S, which is the specialist, you have the B, which is the business, and you have the I, which is the investors. Now, your talent or talented people fall into the S quadrant, which is self-employed and in sometimes specialist quadrant. Now, as a specialist, you are not a business person. Speciality or being a specialist makes you what they call a specialist. It means you're good at one thing. It means you are very good or extremely good at one thing, just one thing, and that is what your talent is. Being extremely good at one thing. The rich are not specialists. The rich are generalists. The rich know little about everything.
Get the best deals on all items on spree.africa. Shop now.
The rich don't become specialists in any field. They know little about every field, and that is why they can control huge businesses, because their job is not to know one thing to the end. For me, it's even boring having to live your life doing one thing over and over again. It doesn't even give you the room to explore other things. I'm not playing down on talent. I'm only relating talent to being rich. A lot of people are talented, and yes, in their days of displaying their talent, they have so much money. They're paid so much money. They're paid millions in dollars. Footballers, basketballers, musicians, songwriters, name it. But that doesn't guarantee them to be rich. It doesn't matter how much you make. What guarantees you to be rich is how much you can keep. How much you can keep recycling and breathing more money for you. Now, a lot of people believe that their idols are very rich people. I'm sorry, they are people with money. And it is played over and over again. Where you see talented people, today they're top of the world in that field, and tomorrow someone just comes, sweeps them off, and the next thing you see them asking for medical aid, financial aid, family aid, and you'll be wondering, where is all the money gone? Like Robert Kiyosaki would say, a fool and a bag of money is one big party. Your talent cannot make you rich. If you want to be rich, you need to learn how to be rich, and that is learning financial intelligence. You need to be financially intelligent. Like I said in my first video, you can be rich in any quadrant you operate. Yes, any quadrant you operate can make you rich, but you need to apply financial intelligence in that same quadrant. So your talent gives you the opportunity to display one thing, and that is your talent. And most of the time, it is overpriced or overrated. If you study Geoffrey Colvin's book, Talent is Overrated, you'd understand. Like I said, I am not playing down on talented people. They're great people. I'm just trying to show them why at the end of the day, why at the end of 20, 10 years, some in 3 years, they're already millionaires in dollars, some billionaires in dollars. And after their reign, their money smokes. So what happened? They had so much money. Money does not make you rich. It doesn't. It doesn't matter how much you're making today. What matters is how much you're keeping. How much you ensure keeps coming after you stop doing that thing you're talented in. After you retire playing that ball, after you retire singing, after you retire running, after you retire doing whatever you're doing. For some, it's long-lived, while for some, it's short-lived. And most of the time, the result is the same thing. They go from up there to nowhere. So it's not the mirage. I don't think there's one thing whisking their money away. No. It is the lack of financial intelligence. The lack of financial intelligence can drive away every dime you have. So you need to be financially intelligent, even if you're a talented person. Your talent can take you as far as getting money. Financial intelligence helps you keep that money. Financial intelligence helps you recycle that money. The rich are not specialists, I repeat it. The rich are generalists. Look at the rich people you know around you. You find out they're surrounded by more intelligent people. Their job is to control the team, to control the cycle. So they know little and little about what they... Let me use myself as an instance. Running an e-commerce firm entails different departments, different talents, different specialties. Graphics, web designing, programming, accounting, branding, name it. Now, I am not a specialist in any of them, but I know bits and pieces of each of the departments. And I can point out and say, this is what I want. I don't have to be a specialist in any of them to become rich. All I need to do is know a little about accounting, a little about management, a little about branding, a little about finance, a little about product management, a little about everything, a little about programming. Yes. And together, build a strong business. So my talented people, if you're listening to this, adding to your talent, add financial intelligence. It will guarantee that after your years of reign, I mean, we've seen them boxers, wrestlers, after their reign and the noise and the frenzy, what happens next? Poof. We begin to hear the living in shacks. They're working in laundromats. They're Uber drivers. I'm sure it's sinking in now. Your talent cannot make you rich. Your talent can get you so much money. If you do not have financial intelligence, you will lose all that money. You need to be financially intelligent. You need to be financially educated to know how to manage your money. And please, don't think that the future of your finance lies in another person's hand. So you tell me, oh, I have accountants to take care of it. Most of your accountants are specialists. And they are talented accountants, which means they are talented people. They operate in the S quadrant. Most of them are not even rich, and most of them do not even know how to be rich. They only know how to balance your books. And most of them who advise you, you say, I have financial planners, I have financial advisors. Most of them who advise you are working for their pay. They're working for their commissions. The more advice you buy, the more money they make. And most of the things they're advising you to do, they've never tried it and may never try it. So they can sell things to you they never do. So if you think you're in the safe by having 1 million accountants around you, I'm sorry. If your accountant is not financially intelligent, if your accountant is not rich or on their way to becoming rich, they will also run you into the ground. Your financial intelligence, the future of your finance, lies in your own hands. You need to learn. You need to understand the difference, no matter the quadrant you operate. Now, for this video, I'll be referring you to two beautiful books. First is Geoffrey Colvin's Talent is Overrated. Get that book and understand what talent really is, how to harness your talent, and how to make the best use out of it. Another book I'll refer you to is Robert Kiyosaki's Cash Flow Quadrant. You need to learn how to grow, how to step up your quadrant from being a talented S or a specialist to becoming a B, to operating in the B quadrant and get passive income. Whether you're working or you're not working, whether your talent is still selling or it is not selling, you don't become poor. You keep getting paid even after your years of service as a talented person. Respect to all the talented people out there. I see your great work in the world. You're making the world a better place. I'm only here to tell you that being talent would not guarantee that you become rich. Thank you. We're still on the change series, and today we'll be talking about greed. Yes, greed. Because a lot of people think that the rich are greedy people, and to become rich, you need to be greedy, to pack and collect as much as you can, gather all you can, seal the can, and sit on the can. That is what they believe being rich is. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. The rich are the most generous people in the world. If you ever have to become rich, you have to learn generosity. You have to learn to be generous. Yes, the rich are not greedy people. If you want to become rich, you have to learn to share. In simple terms, share. You have to learn to share what you have. Give what you have to the world. And in turn, become rich for sharing. Now, I know you're wondering, sharing, am I talking of sharing money? No, it's not just the money. The rich don't just share money. The rich share their talents. The rich share their gifts. The rich share their time. If you're somebody who likes to keep everything within your circle, there are 99% chances that you'll be poor. Because if something as simple as your talent, you cannot share it, you're a highway to poverty. In my last video, I talked about talent not making you rich. Now, this is not the same thing. I'm talking about being generous. I'm talking about sharing. A lot of people have solutions to problems, but they've decided to keep it within themselves and not do anything about it, and not come to the world to share. So in the long run, no one is going to get your gift. No one is going to use it. Yes, you remain poor.
Get the best deals on all items on spree.africa. Shop now.
No matter how much you think you're making, you remain poor. A lot of people can give a lot of solutions. The reason we call the rich solution providers is because they are generous. They generously give their time. There are a lot of rich people I see solving problems daily in the lives of people with the things they've invented or developed or managed. And I know in my mind, and it's in the minds of some people, what's your business? Why not just let it be? People don't have good housing? Let them live in the mods. People don't have good drinking water? Why are you building a water company? Why are you trying to solve people's problems? Let them drink what they have. People don't have good food. Why are you going the extra mile? Now, I'm sure you understand where I'm going when I'm talking of generosity. People will say it's about the money. It is not just about the money. If it was money, a lot of them are already rich. And they will be rich till they leave this earth, and some in their 10th generation would still reap of the fruits that have been sown. But still, in every day, they wake up every morning trying to solve people's problems. That is part of generosity. You share what you have. Why go through the stress of making a video, writing a book on how to help people achieve certain things and do certain things? You wonder. That is generosity. That is a generous heart at work. Away from your talent. Another place you find greed is money. Yes, greedy people are not rich people. I'm telling you. When you can't share profit. I know of people who say they have businesses, but in the real sense, they're actually self-employed and they're not ready to even employ anybody. And I've had conversations with these people. Why don't you set up a structure around yourself? Employ people, get people to work here. And all their mind is going is, after I've built this thing, they now want somebody to come here and start collecting. And what work will they be doing, safe? I'll be paying them. And in my mind, I'm like, why are you so myopic? And why are you so greedy? And you'd always see them waxed out. They're always tired. Yes, they're the ones Warren Buffett made the quote for. If you can't sleep and make money, you will die. I'm sure some skills are falling off your eyes. You need to be ready to share. The reason a person will set up a project to employ 1,000 people on that project, it is generosity. It starts there. The reason a person would build a structure or a company to employ people, employ millions of people worldwide, that is being generous. Yes. You're solving the problems of people and using other people to solve the problems, and in turn they get paid. That is generosity. If you look around you and you see a small person that doesn't grow, they always remain in the same corner year in, year out, look at them very well. They are greedy people and they are not ready to share. That is why they will never grow. The reason some people would not set up a company and would rather register a business name than a company is because they do not want a board of directors that are entitled to shares, and also they do not want shareholders. They want to take all the profits alone. That is not what the rich does. The rich are generous people. Before a rich person starts talking, he's already thinking in the B and I triangle. He's already looking for people to fill in the triangle. A rich person can call you and say, hey, come up, you can do this, right? You say, okay, fine, I'll give you 10% shares of this. Come in. And of course, because they're generous people, they get things easy. A greedy person would take forever trying to beat deals. A rich person will understand what he needs. He's ready to overpay. Yes. He's ready to give it out. He's ready to give it all. Just for the job to be done. And not just for himself, for serving the good and the purpose of others. If you are greedy, you can never ever be rich. I repeat it. If you're a greedy person, you can never be rich. Because all you'll be thinking about is your stomach, yourself, how to take care of yourself, how to make sure you get all the money in your pockets, and not wanting to share. And even if you make deals with people, you don't hold up your end of the deal. You try to swindle people, take away their money, and never come back into business with them. They give you a contract, you steal the money, you run away. Instead of you to do what you're supposed to do, get a team around you to solve the problem or execute the contract, you want to eat the money alone. So you don't want to employ anybody. So something that should take 10 days will take you 10 years. I'm sure this is an eye-opener for you. The rich are very generous people. Please, look around you. Look at the job creators. Look at the solution providers. Look at them. They cut their sleep, they cut their eating just to make sure that other people are still on the project and get the job done. So if you're greedy, you may just have to change your mind and change the way you think. Greedy people are not rich people. Rich people are not greedy people. Rich people are generous people. If you want to be rich, learn to be generous. Learn to share. Thank you. To learn more about sharing and how to become generous, you can study Randy Gage's book, Why You Are Dumb, Sick and Broke. Yeah, you learn a lot about being generous and sharing what you have to the people around you, and in turn becoming rich. And also a book in the Rich Dad's Advisors series by Garrett Sutton, Own Your Own Corporation. That's another book that can teach you how to build a structure around you and own your corporation, and in turn become rich by sharing, by understanding how to share what you have to the people around you. As you learn to share, you're definitely going to become rich. There are no two ways about it. Kick greed out of your life and embrace generosity and see how it transforms your life. Thank you. Thank you. We're still on the Change series, and today we'll be talking about gambling. This is a very serious issue we have in the world today, where people think that the rich are gamblers. People think the rich gamble. People think the rich take unnecessary risks in form of gambling. I'm sorry to inform you, the rich are not gamblers. In fact, it's almost like if you find anybody with a gambling attitude in life, directly or indirectly, financially or non-financially related, they tend to be poor people. The minute I see a gambler, I see a poor person. When I'm talking about gambling, I'm not just talking about the lotto, the casinos, and all sorts. I'm talking about gambling with your finances, gambling with your money. Yeah. A lot of us in our everyday lives, we gamble with our money. The rich don't gamble with their money. I tell people, instead of a rich person to go gamble with 100 naira to win 1 million naira with their money, they would rather go to the gambling company or go to the gambling kiosk and liaise with the owner of the kiosk to either buy a new computer or something they need in the kiosk there that will guarantee him 5,000 naira at the end of the month. Yes, that is how the rich think. The rich don't gamble their money. A rich person is sure and satisfied with earning 5,000 naira at the end of the month that he's sure to earn than gambling to earn 1 million naira in 30 minutes or 30 seconds. It doesn't make sense to the rich. The rich don't gamble. Yes, in your mind, you're thinking, I know this person gambles, I know that person gambles. They don't gamble with their money. No, they don't gamble. They don't. Gambling is not part of the rich. No, the rich are risk takers. Yes, quite all right. But there's something that is called calculated risk, not foolish risk.
Get the best deals on all items on spree.africa. Shop now.
A rich person can tell you, if I go into this venture, I'm bound to make from 100 naira to 500 naira. So it means that if I spend 60 naira in this venture, even if my profit is 40 naira, it is something for me. Than moving into risky avenues and risky ventures like Ponzi's. The rich do not participate in Ponzi's. The rich do not participate in up and down business. They don't do it. A rich person wants to be sure at the end of the day what to expect, contingencies to put in place, just in case this does not fall in place or that does not fall in place the way it was projected, and not putting their life on a scale of 1 to 100. Each time you gamble, I'm sorry, no matter what the odds is, I always see it as 99 to 100. 99 not in your favor and 1% in your favor. The rich are not gamblers. They don't gamble with their money. They prefer to take 5 years to work on something that would make them billionaires for the rest of their life than to take 30 minutes with a ticket or with something that will just overnight. And that is why you find out that the rich, when they become rich, it is very difficult to lose the money. But gamblers lose their money immediately the money comes into their pocket. It is gone. Yes. The rich build ventures and avenues to keep the money working harder and harder every day to make more money for them. The rich are not gamblers. Yes, the rich partake in very high risk businesses. But like financial intelligence will teach you, the higher the risk is not the higher the reward though. Is the higher the education you need to get the reward. Yes. The higher the risk for you, the higher you need to be educated in that thing you want to get into, so that you can beat the risk down to a minimum. The reason a lot of people lose the money they put in different ventures is because they were expecting to catapult money out of it immediately. Some way, somehow, this thing will work. The rich don't do some way, somehow. The rich take their time to study, to understand, to educate themselves. If you say Forex is risky, they take their time to learn about Forex. If you say Bitcoin is risky, they take their time to learn about Bitcoin. If you say owning corporations is risky, they take their time and resources to learn about how to manage huge corporations so that they can build it. A rich person prefers cash flow than capital gains. They prefer to know that they have 1 naira flowing into their pockets every day after all expenses made, than having in the wind that, oh, I'm just going to miraculously, maybe somehow, make 1,000 naira from this venture. The rich take risk. In fact, they're the biggest risk takers in the world, but they don't gamble. And that is why the rich always use things like insurance in every venture they are in. They look for ways to insure, to make sure that I don't lose out on this. I don't lose out on this. Am I saying the rich don't lose money? They do, but they don't lose it while gambling. No, they don't gamble. A rich person wants to be sure of little drops falling into their pocket at the end of every venture than just looking up the sky and believing and waiting and expecting that something will just happen, because they used 1 small 100 naira to do one small thing and they believe that with it they will get 1 million naira. No, the rich don't do that. The rich don't do that. The rich are not greedy people. If you remember in my video I spoke about, they're not greedy people. They prefer to bring in people to make the plan work than they dream and end up losing all the money. If a rich person wants to go into any venture, they study about the venture. They learn about the pros and the cons of the venture, the do's and the don'ts of the venture before they eventually take a step into it. And sometimes this thing takes years to study. A poor person just hears, oh, there's this venture happening now and there's so much money to make from it, people are cashing out, and they just push all their money into it. Ponzi, gambling is not for the rich. And that is why you see poor people jumping from one venture to the other. They are never focused. They're never trying to make anything work. They just believe they are entitled to just wake up and all of a sudden everything is solved. That is not the mentality of the rich. The rich are not gamblers. If you're a gambler, you need to sit back and ask yourself, what are you gambling for? Or what are you gambling against? Because the chances of you having anything come out of a bet you gamble is 1 to 99. 99 odds against you. The rich are not gamblers. If you want to be rich, you need to stop gambling. Take your time, focus on what you're learning, focus on what you're doing, get better at it with time, and with time, yes, it would appreciate. With time, all your hard work will pay off. With time, all the things you've invested, sacrificed, they will begin to pay off bit by bit. It is better you have little drops falling in than you just believe you just throw everything and lose everything. And in some cases they'll say, nah, luck. Timley said in his book, Why You Act the Way You Do, he said, I don't believe in luck, but I have a definition for luck. Luck is when opportunity meets readiness. So the rich people always get themselves ready for the opportunity, so that when it comes, that is luck. If you're not ready, it becomes a disaster, and you just find yourself on the same thread of gambling over and over and over and losing. Gambling, you win this, you lose this, you win this, you lose this, and you continue all your life until you find out you wasted all your time doing nothing. The rich are not gamblers. If you want to be rich, stop gambling. Focus on one thing. The poor say, don't put your eggs in one basket. The rich says, put your eggs in one basket and watch the basket. And take your time, watch the basket. Grow it. Oh, I want to diversify. The poor people diversify mysteriously. Rich people are focused. Rich people focus on one thing. When they get it done, they can then face another or diversify into other things. They don't gamble. They don't say, oh, I'm doing this, doing this, doing this, doing this. Maybe one of them will work out. They don't do that. They persevere. They're strong spirited people, the rich. So if you ever want to be rich, you need to drop your gambling habit. Gambling friends, gambling relationships, all those are gambles that you don't know. You're around toxic people all the time, and you think some way, somehow, a miracle will happen around you, and your circle is so wrong. Nah, I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen. So if you want to be rich, stop gambling and focus. Get your acts right, focus, and you're definitely going to be rich. We're still on the change series, and today I'll be talking about entitlement. Entitlement. What is entitlement? And how can entitlement, or a sense of entitlement, determine how rich or how poor you're going to become? In a few minutes, you're going to find out. Entitlement, in simple terms, is you believing that you deserve something. That is entitlement. That it belongs to you. Entitlement sometimes plays out as a feeling of birthright, a feeling of ownership of something. Okay? And entitlement can be a very dangerous thing if not well channeled, of which most of the time it is not well channeled. People who feel entitled usually are poor people. The rich are not entitled people. The rich do not believe that the world, the government, or God owes them anything. Yes. Not to talk of family, relatives, friends, colleagues. When you see an entitled person, that is a very dangerous signal. And it usually means that is a very poor spirited person. There are people in this world today that are poor because they believe that their government is supposed to make them rich. They believe that their boss is supposed to make them rich. They believe that their job is supposed to make them rich. They believe that God is supposed to pour them down into riches from heaven. They believe they're supposed to be born into rich families. They believe everything should be handed to them. They believe their brother, their sister, their neighbor owes them the world. If you have an entitlement problem, you can never be rich. It's not a curse. Because instead of you to face your life and face the things right there in front of you, you would always play the blame game and look for somebody to blame for your failures, for the reason why you're not rich.
Get the best deals on all items on spree.africa. Shop now.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that believe the reason they were not rich is because of the educational system of their country. Meanwhile, in that same country, you have rich people. There are a lot of people that believe that the reason they are not rich is because they were born into a particular type of family. Meanwhile, in that same family, if you still look, you find people who are rich. You can't be entitled and be rich. There are two different scales. There is no balance there. It's either you're a rich person or you're an entitled person. And once you're an entitled person, it is a dangerous thing. You can kill because of entitlement. Instead of you to wake up every morning, own up your life, face the things that are right in front of you, grow your business, grow your investments, do your job where necessary, mind your business, you go around hanging a frown on your face and hanging a sense of doom around you and believing that people owe you, that is why you are not rich. Nobody owes you nothing. Ask your government what you can do for the government. The government needs your help. God needs your help. Ask God, help God. Yes, help God. Ask God, what can I do to better the lives of people? Whatever religion you are, ask your God. Because you're here for a purpose. Ask your family, how can I help you? Don't just stay there and believe that, hey, because my name is this, I am born into this family, it is supposed to be different for me, but it is not. You can change the odds. Oh yes, records have it that the billionaires we have in the world today, most of them are first generation, which means before them there was no billionaire in their family. There was no money bag in the family. So if they had stuck to it and said that because they were born into middle class or poor families, or I don't know, that they would not be rich or they cannot be rich, nah. You see, this is why I'm taking this change series, because before we begin to understand some certain things and start blowing big English, there are some words we need to take down in our minds. The rich are not entitled people. The minute you're an entitled person, it's sending a signal. And once a rich person sees that you're an entitled person, they stay away from you. Because if you eventually do not break out of that poverty while you're with them, you will blame them for it. I've seen people who, like, because they are around a rich person, they just believe I should be rich. So if you're not rich around that person, then no. You need to work your way up. You need to find your way out. Yes, your circle can determine a lot, but your circle does not determine you're going to be rich. Yes, because around every rich man you have in the world, they are maids. So one, the maid is rich. And if the maid decides to blame their boss for being poor, that's another problem. If you decide to blame your boss for making you poor, that you've been working in a particular company for donkey years and you're poor, and the fault is your boss's own, you need to check again. The rich are not entitled people, and they are never entitled. A rich person wants to achieve something and can't achieve it at that time, or doesn't fall through as at that time. They sit back and analyze what went wrong. What did I do? Not what did the environment do? What did the government do? If you keep waiting for your government to come and make you rich, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, your government does not even know how to become rich. Yes, most of the people who are in your government, they are financially illiterate. They may be academically literate, PhDs, MScs, whatever. When it comes to financial literacy, they are dullards. Most of your bosses, the same thing. Your financial freedom lies in your own hands. And for you to attain it, you need to be financially intelligent. That is why we preach financial intelligence. So my dear viewer, if you ever feeling a sense of entitlement, knock it out of your head. Nothing on earth is the reason why you're poor. You are the reason why you're poor. You are the reason why you're poor. And you need to first walk within yourself before you start blaming the external factors. Sometimes the village people, we are shouting village people ourselves. We are the first village person. Yes. So if you're ever going to be rich, you need to stop feeling entitled. Stop it. There are a lot of people, they were in their parents' house, they were having EIC, economic inpatient care, and they've left their parents' house, they're still having EOC, economic outpatient care, because they believe that their parents are responsible for everything in their life, including making them rich. I'm sorry. I am sorry. If you're an entitled person, you need to change your mind. Stop being entitled and face life. Face life. It's right in front of you. Face life. Correct the things that need corrected. Do the things. Learn. While your mates are learning, learn. Study. Understand the ways of the rich. And that takes me to the final topic on the series. Money can never make you rich. I repeat it. Money can never make you rich. All the money in this world loaded on your head, that's your head, cannot make you rich. Without financial intelligence, you can never become rich. You can only try to make money. It's very easy. In fact, we're so focused on making money in this world today that we forget that the problem actually is that we have too much money. Yes, there's too much money in circulation, not a shortage of money. Too much money. And that too much money cannot solve your problem. Ask people. Go ahead, ask. They're driving Bentleys, they're driving Rolls Royce, they're driving, but their hearts in their hands. Because they know they are not yet rich. And they know they are not rich. And they know that if anything happens now, they will go from rich to poor. They wouldn't even go broke, they will go poor. The rich don't go poor. The rich can be broke, but the rich can never ever be poor. They're two different worlds. A rich person can be broke. A rich person can declare bankruptcy, but a rich person can never be poor. A rich person can fall and stand again and again, but a rich person can never ever ever be poor. Being poor is not part of the rich. Money cannot make you rich. I'll repeat Robert Kiyosaki's quote. It doesn't matter how much you make. What matters is how much you keep. So it doesn't matter how much is in your bank account. What matters is how much is your own. Because a lot of people have so much money in their bank account that is not their own. I'm telling you the truth. It sounds funny, right? You have $1 million, $2-3 million in the bank, but it is not your money. And you don't even know that it is not your money. And you think, oh, I'm rich, I'm a millionaire in dollars. You're poor. You have liabilities surrounding you, and you don't know the difference. And a lot of people mistake net worth for asset worth. So they mistake net worth millionaires for asset worth millionaires. Net worth people are usually poor. Majority of the net worth people, they are poor. If you want to know rich people, check out their assets. That is what speaks. It is the asset that is their own, not the money. Not the money. Money is like a fluid used to run an engine. So is money the engine? No. Right from the history of money, money was just a form of exchange, and it's still a form of exchange. I don't know why people worship it. Why people believe holding money that is now debt, or having money that is now debt, is their holy grail. No. Money was exchanged with gold. So gold was the main thing, while money was used as the exchange, so that you don't get robbed, right? So it means if you don't have gold, you're actually worthless. So yes, so gold is the asset. Now I'm not talking about gold as in the ornament, but I'm talking about your assets. That is your own. So if you don't have any assets, or your assets do not cover and supersede your liabilities, you are poor. No matter how much money you have. If you play the Monopoly board game, you'd understand that the more money you have in your hand, the poorer you are on the board. So money cannot solve your problem. I know in your mind you're like, give me the money. Give me the money. Where is the money? That's what you're thinking. Money cannot solve your problem. Money cannot solve the poverty in your mind. Have loads of it. Let them give you the net worth of the 5 richest people in the world in cash. In fact, liquidate all their assets and give you the cash. And let's see how far. Then you'd understand. It doesn't matter how much you make. What matters the most is how much you keep. How much is your own. So that's what I'm going to be closing this with. Money cannot make you rich. If all you're chasing in life is the money, I see a very poor person. Bob Marley once said, some people are so poor that all they have is the money. If you understand what that means. Money cannot make you rich. If you want to become rich, money is the last thing. So what makes you rich? Service. Service can help you keep the money running. Service can help you print money. Service can help you acquire assets. Because to serve, you build an asset. Your asset in turn serve the people, then people in turn pay for it. In my place, there's an adage that says, I'll speak it in pidgin English. If they cook for crowd, it will tire you. But if crowd decide to cook for you, it will over you. Now what it means is, if you're serving, it is not easy. Service is not, it doesn't come cheap. It doesn't come cheap with your time, with your money, with your resources, whatever comes with service. It is not cheap. It is expensive. Sometimes it almost claims your life when you're trying to serve people. But when people get satisfied with your service and decide to patronize you and decide to reward you, you're going to be overwhelmed. And that is where the real wealth is. That is where the riches is. When people find out first that you have their goodwill at heart. Like saying goes, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. When they find out how much you care, you see that thing you're calling money will now become something that is glued to you. So if you want to become rich, the first thing you need to deal with is how to serve, how to meet needs. And that will take us into the next series, which is the gospel of the true rich. Now, I chose the word gospel because the meaning gospel is not the good news. It's the news too good to be true. Because there's so much information out there. Like I said in my first video, everything I'm going to be sharing is going to be contemporary knowledge.
It is not a secret. There's no secret to success. Everything is out there, and it is too good to be true. Like, something this simple. You mean I can just do this and become rich? I mean, look at the things in the change series. They sound so simple, right? Getting into debt, how your talent cannot make you rich, savings cannot make you rich, and so many of them we talked about. The word to use, it sounds so simple. Just say I can afford it. It just sounds so simple. That's the good news. So we'll be dealing with the good news of the true rich. Because here we're talking about the true rich, not just the rich people, not money rich, not I have money rich. So we'll be going on another journey, another interesting journey. I hope you're still glued to this channel so that we learn and grow together. Thank you for staying glued all through the change series. It was amazing. It was awesome. Thank you to my fans. Thank you to my supporters. Thank you to my crew. Victoria, you're awesome. For the lights, cameras, the sets. Thank you. And also, thank you to our beautiful sponsors, Spree Africa. Thank you for the love, the support. Thank you for the wardrobe. I've been looking very awesome in my last videos, courtesy Spree Africa. Spree Africa is an all-purpose e-commerce shopping website presently operating in Nigeria, and the website is www.spree.africa. They do free delivery all over Lagos State in Nigeria. So if you're in Lagos and you've not heard of Spree Africa, go there now and place your orders. It's free delivery from as low as 500 naira. Free delivery to your doorstep, and also pay on delivery nationwide. So it means you don't have to pay until you get your items. And grocery deliveries within Lagos is 24 hours. 24 hours grocery delivery. Can you beat that? So Spree Africa has been very awesome, taking care of the crew and myself all throughout the videos, and they're still showing the love, and we still have so much more to do together. Thank you, Spree. Thank you, Spree Africa, for the love, and thank you, my fans. Thank you. You guys have been so awesome. So we'll be continuing our next series. From the next video, we'll start the gospel of the true rich, so that you can hear the news that is too good to be true. I mean, they would sound like very simple. Here we use the case method. Keep it simple, stupid. So you're going to learn just very basic things, how to reach things and understand, and be. After you begin to do, then you have what the rich has. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you. If this is your first time here, please like, share, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram at @BeTheTrueRich. And
No more worries over grocery items. Get your items delivered to your doorstep in 24 hours. Shop now on Spree.Africa.